Cooper.
And I'm Dan.
And today we're going to talk about the Wisconsin Homestead Credit.
Hi, I'm Cooper. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about the Homestead Credit. This is a Wisconsin credit, so you won't see it on the federal tax return. This credit is intended to give people making a certain level of income that's below a threshold money back for their payments throughout the year on their housing. So let's go over the agenda for today. 1, we got the qualifications for the credit. 2, the documentation needed for the credit. And 3, how to report it in the tax return using the Drake software. Let's go to Dan with the qualifications.
Alright, so the first thing that we have to consider when the taxpayer wants to claim the homestead credit is whether or not the taxpayer qualifies for that credit. Some of the major considerations and qualifications for the credit is that the taxpayer must be 18 years old or older as of December 31st of the tax year. They must be a Wisconsin resident for the full year. They can't be somebody else's dependent on someone else's tax return. The household income for the taxpayer has to be less than $24,680, and they have to own or rent a homestead. Alright, in addition to some of the more common qualifications that the taxpayer has to meet, there's also some more specific qualifications that you won't encounter all the time. Those include that the taxpayer must not have lived for the entire year in housing that is exempt from property tax. The taxpayer can't be living in a nursing home and receiving Title 19 medical assistance. The taxpayer can't be claiming the Wisconsin Farmland Preservation Credit or the Veterans and Surviving Spouse Property Tax Credit. And in addition to that, the homestead credit can only be claimed once per household. For more information on the less common credits and also the more important qualifications that you have to meet, you can visit the Wisconsin Department of Revenue website at www.revenue.wi.gov.
So now that we know the qualifications, let's see which documentation we need.
For the taxpayer to claim the homestead credit, the following documentation needs to be filed with the tax return: a copy of the rent certificate or property tax bill of the taxpayer, any W-2s, W-2Gs, 1099-Rs, or 1098-Ts that the taxpayer has, and any tax bills, legal documents, and statements that the taxpayer has. Alright, now that we covered all the information that's required to file the homestead credit, I'm going to turn it over to Cooper to show you how you enter that information into the Drake software for the tax return.
So we're going to begin in the Drake by going to the State tab and selecting Wisconsin. And that's going to bring us to this page here. And then what we're going to want to focus on throughout this video is the homestead credit area. And we're going to start by clicking on Schedule H here, the homestead credit claim. Now we're on the homestead credit claim page, and we're going to begin by going up to this yellow box here that says TSJ next to it. And we're going to open it up, and it's going to display the main taxpayer, and you're going to select that since this credit is being claimed for the main taxpayer. And then this whole area here at the beginning of the page needs to be filled out, and this is all qualifications, making sure that the taxpayer is able to take the credit and that they pass all the qualifications. And then down at the bottom, there's all these other boxes with red equal signs in front of them. And what that means is that you don't have to fill out this area of the tax return. It's going to be auto-populated from other areas that you've already filled out of the tax return. So we just filled out the homestead credit claim, and now we're going to move on to the rent certificate right here. Now this is the rent certificate page, and you can see there's the yellow box that says TSJ up the top of it again. So you're going to open that up and fill out the primary taxpayer again. And then, as with the last page that we saw, there was red equal signs in front of the boxes. Well, you're going to see the same thing up at the top here. All these boxes have red equal signs in front of them, so you don't have to fill them out again. And they're going to fill in from other areas of the tax return. And then there's a checkbox here that you may need to check depending on if the landlord signed the rent certificate or not. If the landlord didn't sign the rent certificate, then you have to check this. And then moving down the page, you can see There are other boxes to fill in with the landlord's information, such as their name, address, things of that nature. And then the rest of this is going to fill out just like the rent certificate that you received from the customer. It looks almost exactly the same, and the boxes that they filled in, you're going to fill out within the rent certificate page here.
And that's everything you need to know for the Wisconsin Homestead Credit. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.